cover the difference, subject to extra approval. The thought behind this is to not actually use unexpected travel expenses, which are almost budgeted for, or unexpected expenses in generally, because we want to keep them really for the worst of the worst cases. But by doing so, if we say we have a travel expense for partners and travel expense for sponsor events, and we use some funds for the partners events, but none for the sponsors, then we could explain that it is budgeted for, and we can utilize it, we can rearrange this travel expense in order to cover a difference that might occur and we cannot cover it in the meantime. The subject to extra approval, it's a point of security so that the treasurer doesn't do what they want without informing the whole of EXCO, which is the reliable body for any financial decisions made. So again, I move to add, unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval.
Second. The motion on the floor is to amend the bylaw to add, unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval. So that the bylaws would state, travel expenses cannot be revised nor utilize reverse fund capital. Values exceeding the annual budget cannot be reimbursed unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval. Is there any discussion on the motion on the floor? Felix.
Felix Metzger, IBIS EXCO number 69. Thanks to the previous speaker, the explanation was quite well. I just want to add like a practical example of the term to explain how this bylaw amendment would help. So during the term when I was traveling to Paris for the war event, I had to face some unexpected expenses because the train I was supposed to take didn't let me in. So we had to book a new train because my complaints were not acknowledged. I had to find a way to go home. So we were this close to having like more expenses than we were supposed to. And in my case, if I have to pay like all of a sudden like 200 euros out of my pocket, it would have been like not nice but manageable. But imagine, like for example, if the new president has to travel somewhere and all of a sudden has to pay 200 euros just like that, it might be a problem. So it's also affecting the inclusivity of the officials that are traveling. But on other events, I have been saving a lot of money because I was, for example, not spending so much on travel expenses there. So with this bylaw amendment, I would have been able, even if I needed 200 euros extra, to go to the treasurer and then to EXCO to say, hey, I saved 150 euros there, can I use it now? And that would have helped me a lot, and that would have made it way less stressful. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Yes.
Betsy from IBSA China, bidding number 50. I think we may need to have further clarification on what EXCO approval means, whether it's a singular person or it's a vote or what it is. Thank you.
Felix?
Felix Metzger, IBIS EXCO bidding number 69. EXCO approval means the majority of EXCO. So that would mean that if we are doing this, we would send out a vote to the whole of EXCO, so to all 8 EXCO members, and we would ask for approval. So that would mean that if 5 out of 8 EXCO members approve it, that it would be approved. Or if there's a tie, like 4-4, that it depends to the president to decide if it gets approved. So it would not just be one person, it would be the majority of EXCO, or in case of a tie, the president.
Yes, so to clarify, for EXCO means executive committee, so subject to EXCO approval means subject to approval of the executive committee. Is there any other discussion? Peter?
Number 16, just for clarification, if it was the president's budget or expenses that were being discussed, would it still be up to the president to decide, or would that fall to the vice president?
Felix?
Felix Metzger, ISX group number 69. So, yes, like even if it's the president's budget, in terms of an exco vote and there's a tie, according to our bylaws, the president is the deciding body in case of a tie. But that would mean that like 4 exco members are in favor and 4 exco members are against, and then the president will make the decision. So it would.
Is there any further discussion? Yes.
Bentley IBSA China, bidding number 50. Regarding the what was said during the previous speakers, speaking, could a phrase regarding the majority be perhaps added, rather amended into this amendment, so that there's further clarity with this?
Felix?
Felix Metzger, ISX Co, bidding number 69. Given that for an exco decision, the rules for majority are already clarified, it is technically not needed because it's already clarified what is needed for an exco approval.
Yes, exactly. The bylaws said that for an exco to take any decisions require 5 votes out of 9 exco positions. 8 exco positions, sorry. Is there any further discussion? So, the motion currently on the floor is to amend the bylaws to add, unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval, so that the bylaws will state, travel expenses cannot be revised nor utilize reverse fund capital. Values exceeding the annual budget cannot be reimbursed unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval. Is there any further discussion? Stavros?
Sorry about that, I would like to point out at this point that the current treasurer is working on the budget what was given from the previous term and approved on the Congress before the term started. So they have really limited access on what they can do with the budget. It can be amended only twice during the General Assembly. So that was the main issue that we would have here.
Any further discussion on the motion on the floor? Is there any objection to amend the bylaws to add, unless surpluses from other budgeted travel expenses are used to cover the difference subject to extra approval? Is there any objection? Seeing none, motion passes, bylaws are amended. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting of the GA. Someone who...
Ishacharya, I will say India, building number 11. I would like to thank the chair for giving me this unique opportunity to move to adjourn the GA. Nice to meet you.
The motion on the floor is to adjourn the meeting of the GA. Is there any discussion? Is there any objection? Seeing none, the meeting is adjourned and the GA will reconvene tomorrow for the last time during this, no, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow for the last time during this session. So, you guys, we have had a long days of nominee presentations, so make sure to discuss with the other delegates of your member organization present here how you want to vote. Make sure to read the nominees form, which you can find on the delegate drive. And day after tomorrow, we will vote, but the agenda is also still pretty packed, so we still have a lot of things to discuss. So I want to see the same energy as we saw during yesterday, no, 2 days ago, right? And I encourage you to participate just as much as you did the last time. So thank you, and now announcements from Jesse.
Okay, so I'll be saying the announcements for today. We will be going back to dinner for dinner instead, and after dinner you're free to rest because tomorrow we have an early morning. We will be going to another city, so please gather at the lobby at 6:30, and the bus will leave at 7. And for groups 1 to 3, you will get on the first bus, groups 4 to 6 on the second bus, and groups 7 and 8 will get on the third bus. And before getting on the bus, you'll be given flags, paper flags, according to your MO. So please make sure that all of you get one of them. And it will be used for the photo taking session tomorrow. And tomorrow we also have the formal dinner, which will be held at Meter. So there's no need to bring your formal attire out tomorrow. And that's all from me. Thank you.
So no formal attire.
One last thing. So on Wednesday, we will have our last GA